Forgot to share.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as
Hello, bonjour and bonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, more especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Dr. Riel Nkunene, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in the chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to achieve from our podcast. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share more nuggets on real estate investing. So in Virginia, we have Sharon Lee Smith. And in Pennsylvania, we have Martin Perdomo. So at this moment, I'll just let our speakers to introduce themselves. So you can go ahead, Sharon Lee.
Thank you so much for having me on. My name is Sharon Lee Smith. I am a real estate investor. My primary business model is wholesaling. Particularly, I'm a disposition wholesaler. And I work with buyers nationwide, but particularly in my region of Virginia, in DC, and in Maryland. And I sell wholesale deals to our end buyers. What about me? I've spent 23 years in construction cost estimating, which really built up my knowledge of rehab, and I actually flipped houses myself between 2007 and 2012. So I kind of know the business pretty well, and that's what got me into it. So I'm here. That's me.
Wow. Oh, wow. It's such a great honor to have you, Sharon Lee, and I'm looking forward to hear you speak. You can go ahead, Martin, and introduce yourself, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Martin Perdomo. I go by the Elite Strategist. Thank you so much for having me here first, Dr. Real. Really appreciate that. Poverty is the word that I like to open up with, because that's what I grew up in, was poverty. I am also a real estate investor. Today I'm a real estate investor. My mother came here pregnant with me to the United States from Dominican Republic many years ago. And she sent me back home to the Dominican Republic because she didn't have a place to live here. When she sent me back home, we were so poor that when you think of a third world country and you think of the kids you see on TV, that was me running around without shoes, without a shirt, in my underwears. We didn't even have running water in my house. I share this with you to impress upon you that if a poor kid like me with an immigrant mother can get to where I am today. I buy and hold properties. I also wholesale like Sharon. Not as much as Sharon does. That's all she does. I have a pretty sizable portfolio, and we do syndications and we buy and hold properties long term. We flip. We're one of the biggest flippers here in the market in the Poconos. And if a poor kid like me can figure this thing out, so can anyone else out there with focus, commitment, and the right mindset.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wow. It's such an inspirational story, really. Yes, if you can do it, I can too. So
That's
I'm
right.
looking forward to hear more of your message, Martin. And thank you for saying yes to be on this platform today.
You're welcome.
So Sharon Lee, I have a question for you. If you happen to have your own billboard, I can see your billboard coming down there in the busy, busy highway in Virginia. What will your billboard say?
That's a good question. I actually pondered about this because I really don't know, but I think it would probably say, send me your deals. Because, I really like to do business with really anybody. I'm a open people. I personally mentor new people in this space as well. And so I think that's what I would probably say.
Send me your deal. I am here
Send
to
me your
serve you.
deal.
I love it. I love it. How about you, Martin? Maybe your billboard is already down there in the busy, busy highway in Pennsylvania, or maybe I don't know where it's gonna be. The Dominican Republic. Oh, just tell me what will your billboard
And
say?
my billboard would probably have a picture of me and say something to the effect of, follow Martin. Martin's purpose in life is to empower others to be the best version of themselves. That's what my billboard would say. That's my purpose in life, is to empower others to be the best. That's the billboard I carry in my heart. That's the billboard I carry everywhere I go. And that's why I have a podcast. That's why I come on things like this, because my purpose is to empower others to be the best version of themselves, as well as me be the best version of myself. Every day work on me becoming better. And that's not a billboard you would see, although you just presented it as a billboard. That's a billboard I carry in my heart and I carry in everything I do.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Follow Martin, because Martin's purpose is to empower others to be the best version of themselves. I love it. I love it because you know what? I believe that we all rise together and we rise by lifting each other up. So I love
100%.
it. So I believe mine will be the third billboard driving down the highway, and it's going to say what? The sky is no longer the limit, but the sky is now our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. And you know what?
I love that.
It's coming. It's definitely coming. So
I
we're
love
going to
that.
get started, good people. We're going to get started. We have Sharon Lee Smith. Sharon Lee Smith is a real estate investor in Virginia. In her career, she spent 23 years in construction, in cost estimating and accounting. So she transitioned into real estate investing through wholesaling this past year, and her business has taken off. So understanding what her buyers needs from being on the inside of their businesses, and has given her a competitive edge in the industry. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Sharon Lee Smith.
Thank you. Thank you. So you asked me to be on, and I had to really stop and think about what I would want to say to people, because I don't normally do this type of thing. I'm not like Martin with a podcast, and I don't normally know what to say to people, but I come from a background of domestic violence personally. I've overcome a lot of obstacles along the way. And some of the lessons that I've learned, I really need to share with others in similar situations. And one of the biggest things I have learned is to have confidence in yourself, in what you're doing, to believe in yourself. Like, that is so empowering to taking the next step in life, in business, in moving on. So, learning the process and the things, but also having that confidence rather than coming from a position of fear of, oh no, what if something goes wrong, or, just scared to take steps. Have confidence. And then the next thing that I, want to impress upon people is to not be afraid of obstacles, right? There's so many obstacles in anywhere in life. But in real estate investing in particular, you come across all kinds of things that come up, whether it's a probate deal and suddenly there's somebody else that pops up in the picture, or it's a tenant situation and they're not leaving and you have to work through that, or just any type of things that can come up along the way. And instead of feeling that defeat when you hit an obstacle, right, to pivot, to shift, to change focus, and okay, how do I overcome this? And take those steps, and even call somebody else that maybe might know, and take the steps to overcome so many obstacles that come, and just shifting your mindset, right, into one, instead of fear, but one of power and strength. It's so important, I think, anywhere in life to just be able to have a mindset of strength and hope rather than negativity, of self-responsibility rather than victim blaming, and having that confidence, that positive outlook, that positive mindset really can grow you personally and your business into success. There was several mindset shifts that I had along my journey. When I got started, I thought, oh, I know all this stuff, this will be easy. And it's, wholesaling or just investing in general, it's simple, but it's not easy. And people, will get discouraged and just give up. And man, don't give up. Just figure it out. Just figure it out. It's just a matter of a hurdle that you need to jump through. And changing that mindset from one of defeat into one of victory, of I can do this. I just got to figure it out. It's just key, I think, in all kinds of areas of life, not just real estate investing. That's about all I have for you, Riel.
Oh, wow, what a profound, much needed message. Just shift your mindset. You can overcome anything that you put your mind in there. Shift your mindset from being that poverty mindset, like the way Martin was explaining, into this prosperity mindset. Thank you so much, Sharon Lee, for sharing such a profound message. So I believe our audience online are gonna ask you lots and lots of questions. Be prepared. Be prepared to answer all of the questions that they're gonna pose to you. So thank you so much, Sharon Lee, for sharing such a profound message. So we're gonna move forward. We're gonna move to Martin Perdomo. Martin is a real estate entrepreneur and a mindset strategist. He has over 24 years of business experience, and is also a certified mindset coach and a speaker. Martin is also the host of the Latinos in Real Estate Investing podcast. So as the host, Martin aims to educate people and get them started on their journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. Martin is also the founder of the Elite Pennsylvania Investors Club, where he hosts quarterly meetups with veterans and aspiring real estate investors to come strategize, network, and learn the latest market trends to stay on top of their business. So in 2021, he and his company, Skilled Property Finders, won the 20-mile march award given by the American Institute of Investment Housing. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Martin Perdomo.
Thank you very much. Very gracious with your introduction. So there was these two shoe salesmen, okay? two shoe salesmen. I want you guys to picture this. Two shoe salesmen get sent away on this remote island to sell shoes. Okay. And the island is so remote that they have to take an airplane, they have to get on a boat, and to get there. When they finally get there, they look around and they realize that no one on the island is wearing shoes, ladies. No one on, two shoe salesmen, and they get to this remote island, no one on this island is wearing shoes. The one guy gets a feeling and the other salesman gets another feeling. They both go up to their hotel rooms. The first guy picks up the phone and he calls his boss and he says, boss, put me on the first flight back home because no one on this island is wearing shoes. The second one picked up the phone and he called his boss and he says, boss, I'm so excited. Send me 10,000 pairs of shoes because I'm going to put shoes on everybody in this island. The point is perspective, right? Are you looking at the glass half empty? How is your mind? So I want you to consider, as I am going to share, the three things that you need to consider when you're going to start in real estate. Have an open mind of the possibilities. Like I shared earlier, when I first came here, when my mom first came here, she was pregnant. We didn't have anything. She sent me back home. At 5 years old, I came back here and I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in New York City and Washington Heights. There was drugs. It was drug infested. There's crime all over the place. I barely graduated from high school. At 16, my mother kicked me out. And that's when I fell in love with real estate, at 16 years old. So we all make decisions consciously and unconscious. When my mother kicked me out on my 16th birthday, and I was sleeping in trains and I was sleeping in rooftops in New York City and I was sleeping in the parks and at the beaches, I remember making a decision that I hated the feeling of not having a place to sleep comfortable. And that and this was unconscious, by the way, that I was going to own as many apartments as I possibly could so that I don't ever have to go through that pain again. So here we are, fast forward, I decided to go into real estate, right? And I've learned some things along the way, and I'm going to share the first three things that you need to consider if you're looking to get started in real estate. I just want to give you some fun stats before I get started with those three things. Stat number one is 90% of millionaires, self-made millionaires around the world. So it doesn't matter where you're listening from. 90% of millionaires around the world, of self-made millionaires, are made through real estate. So when I first learned that little piece of data, that 90% of millionaires are made through real estate, I have owned many businesses. I started selling and I was in business at the age of 9. I was selling my own toys, my used toys in New York City at the age of 9. I've just had an entrepreneur spirit, right? At 11, I was doing delivery groceries for tips. So I've been in sales and business since basically my whole life. So I'm going to share these 3 points with you, okay, that are very important. Point number one is education, right? Before you dive into real estate investing, Sharon will share with you, I'm sure she would agree with this, that she didn't just wake up one morning and she was like, I'm a wholesaler. I know how this works. I know how to find off-market deals. That just didn't happen, right? So the first thing is educate yourself, right? Understand the different types of real estate investments. Beginners should learn about the various types of investments available, including residential properties, commercial properties, land, etc. In 2007, from 2004 to 2005 to 2008, I was a mortgage broker. As many of you may or may not know, we had a major real estate crash in 2008, right? In 2007, I was the guy giving the money. I was the guy lending money to people. I was the guy facilitating those subprime loans. And I remember people coming into my office saying, hey, I want a loan with a 500 credit score. And I was a little bit arrogant because I was a young guy. And I would tell them, if you don't pay me my 4 points, you can take a hike, right? Like money was so easy back in those days. But there was so much, back then, guys, there was so much, people were buying so much that I encountered something, and a lot of people, I saw this happening last year and the year before. And that was FOMO, fear of missing out. I bought my first investment because I was helping so many people. So many people were coming for investments. And I bought my first property in 2007. It was a duplex. Bought this duplex for $275,000. Within a year and a half, I was $100,000 underwater, meaning the property was only worth $179,000 to be exact. Right? $179,000. And I had no education, guys. I did real estate for the wrong reasons. I got into it because everyone else was doing it. And guys, a lot of people in 2021, Sharon, you know this, were overpaying for real estate in 2021, 2020, because everyone else was doing it and it was easy. Okay. I wasn't educated and it freaking hurt, right? The part that hurt was that mentally I had a loan for 275 and now the property was only worth 179, right? And I was still cash flowing, but there was fundamentals that I did not understand. So I was stressed. I was Mr. Landlord. I was the handyman. I was the guy listing the property. I was the guy showing the property. I was everything. That's the wrong way to do this business. That is the wrong way to do this business. I learned that lesson. The lesson number one, which is my point number one, is educate yourself. Before you go into it, educate yourself. Learn how to run the numbers and learn what a good deal actually is, right? Number two, and then I'm going to wrap that story up at the very end, fast forward to 2022 after my point number three. Number two is learn about the real estate market that you want to invest in. Beginners should familiarize themselves with the real estate market, including the current trends. Hey, do you know that the interest rates are going up? Do you know that when interest rates go up, it impacts the housing values? The values tend to go down because affordability goes down, right? I'm going to share another story here. I bought a 57-unit apartment building last year. We syndicated that deal. So we raised capital for that deal. And in January of last year, when we bought that, the Fed started talking about they were going to start raising interest rates to tame inflation. In March, guys, in March, I was already calling lenders because I had a bridge loan. I have a bridge loan. We're about to refinance. I have a bridge loan on that property. I was already calling lenders, talking about refinancing my loan into long-term debt. My partner, when we get last time we got on a call with our investors, she was laughing about it because she was sharing that story. She said, Martin was in February, March, talking a month after we bought the property, talking to lenders about refinance. I couldn't refi because I hadn't executed on my business plan yet. I hadn't added the value to increase the value to refi, but I knew this was coming. My point is staying aware. Number two is learn about the real estate market and stay aware of what's happening and how it can impact the values of the properties that you're buying, right? You should learn about the factors that can affect property values, such as location, right? Interest rates, demographics, and economic conditions, right? I had not yet stabilized that property. We took the rents from $700 a month to $1,000 a month. We did that in under a year, and it increased the value by about $2 million in that marketplace. But I couldn't at that point. And the reason I was so gung-ho on looking to get that property refi was because I knew I was informed on what the feds were doing and what was happening in my industry, right? So that's point number two, is stay aware. Number three is develop a solid business investment strategy. There are many lanes you can play in. You can go into the storage space. You can go into flipping. You can go into wholesaling. You can go into land flipping. I've interviewed all these guys on my podcast, Latinos in Real Estate Investing podcast. Make sure you check it out. I'm constantly educating, bringing high-level investors to that podcast. So make sure you develop a solid investment strategy and focus on it, right? If I was to ask Sharon right now, Sharon, what's the thing that you do? She said it. She focuses on wholesaling. That's what she does. That's what she does. She's not flipping. She's not multifamily. She's not doing self-storage. She's not doing land banking. She's focused on that, right? There's a great book I'm going to recommend, and it's The One Thing by Gary Keller, right? The founder of Keller Williams, and it's focusing on the one thing. You get successful by focusing on the right things, on the one thing. So you need to figure out what's it going to be that you want to do, right? This can change over time, right? When I started with a duplex, not knowing, and then I found the mentor, I found the coach, and I learned how to run the business like a business, and that's how I got better, right? Develop a solid investment strategy that takes into account your financial goals, your risk tolerance, and the specific properties that you're interested in doing. So what fuels you? You know, for me, it's fun to flip properties. That's a fun game. But guess what? My strategy is now changing because it is not the right time to be flipping properties because the market is going downward. How do I know this? Because I'm educated and I'm constantly paying attention to what's happening in the financial markets. You see the first 2 points, right? It's not a time to be playing that game, right? I'm focusing on buying properties to buy and rent long term because that's where wealth is created. So this might include identifying your target market, creating a budget, and finding financial options. And those are my 3 points. I know I don't have much time. Tell me if I'm good on time, or if I'm not. But I want to take you back really quick to that property, and I'm going to leave you with this message. So the 3 points are: educate yourself, go and learn. I have an online course you guys can check out. You guys can go check out my podcast, and it's in the show notes, where I teach how to get your first off-market deal in under 60 days. Everything I did, by the way, everything I've done. Number 1 is educate yourself. Number 2 is familiarize yourself with the economic conditions and the market you want to play. And number 3 is create a strategy, what it is that you want. Now I'm going to take you back to that property. So remember, I bought it in 2007, right? 2009, I was $100,000 underwater. That particular property was cash flowing. I had no idea what cash flow meant. I just know that I was making about $900 a month on a duplex, which is amazing, $450 per door. Net is amazing, by the way, right? That's a really good number. I was making about $900, $450 per door, and I didn't know that, right? I just knew I was making this money. And here's the thing, I had really bad spending habits, so I was eating all that money. So, you know, there's some skills around money that you need to get. So that property I had rented to college students. About 5 years later, right, in 2013, they burned it down. Kids burned it, property burned down to the ground. College students in around May is when they finished school, or April, May, and these kids didn't pay the light bill. They were studying with a candle. So pictures, kid was studying, had a candle, studying to take his finals, and the curtain took fire, the mattress took fire, my house went down, and that's how I was able to get out of that property. Okay. Fast forward 2020, 2022, right? I bought a property. I closed on a fourplex, not too far from my office here, on October 31st. Literally on Halloween was the closing day. And a couple weeks before that, the appraiser comes to my office. The appraiser that's going to appraise it, because I have a lender, I have a bridge lender on that. He comes to my office and he's like, he's coming to pick up the check. So he's sitting in front of my desk, and I'm writing him the check. And I'm like, hey, Jeff, I have a question for you. What are you thinking you're going to bring this property value in at? And he says, I don't know, Martin, but here are my notes and here are my comps, right? He hands me a manila envelope with the comps of the comparable homes that he's going to use to value the property. He hands me this envelope, and when I open this envelope, I see this property, 6460, something like that, Ransbury, which is literally 2 doors down from that house I bought in 2007, right? And I'm like, oh, wow. And I look at this property, and this property had just sold in September for $385,000. Exact same property. Just a few months, the prior month, the September of 2022. That's 14 years, right? 2007 to 2022 is 14 years, right? The point is, although I was stressed in 2009, oh my gosh, I'm 100,000 on the water. It meant nothing. It really means nothing, because if I'm cash flowing, that's all that matters. If I'm meeting the debt, right? If I would have waited and held on to that property, even though I overpaid for it in 2007, in 2022, that property would have appreciated by $105,000. And I would have had tenants paid down my rent, and I would have had cash flow for 14 years. The moral of the story is, don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. It always pays off in the long run.
Wow. Wow. Don't wait to buy real estate. Just buy, just do it. You know, like Nike always say that just do it. Just do it. If you don't know, if you don't know the way, just believe that someone out there is just leading. Just do it. Just do it. Thank you. Thank you, Martin, for sharing such a profound message. You've mentioned that we'll have to educate ourselves. We'll have to do the research. And the moral of your story really is teaching all of us a lesson that, you know, just do your research. If you're looking for that client, just do your research around that client. Is that person going to be able to pay rent on a monthly basis, or I'm just getting this tenant for no reason, and I'll end up losing all of the dollars. So thank you so much, Martin, for sharing such a profound message. And I am also looking on our Facebook here. I already see three questions. I'm gonna read the questions, but you know what? We're gonna respond to those questions once I'm done, because I'm gonna be the next speaker anyways, but I'm just gonna read it. One is for Sharon. Sharon Lee, Mariah is asking how to get started in real estate investing with no money, with no money, which is the best option. So just work around that question, Sharon Lee, and then once I'm done speaking, we're gonna respond to all of those questions. And I can see Tsela, he's saying that, Martin, how will I know if I'm buying the right property at the right time? So that question is for you, Martin. Just work around it. We're gonna respond to that question. And then the last one is from Princess. She's saying, how can I get started with bad credit and debts? So let me say like 90,000 debts. So how can I get started with that debt? And I have bad credit. So just work around those questions, and then I believe we're gonna respond to those questions towards the end of the podcast. So right now I'm gonna be the next speaker. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna share my bio, and then I will come back and speak. So please enjoy. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. Really, my goal as a mentor or as a coach, it's so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to pursue success and drive sustainable. I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel Nkunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel Nkunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights.
Dr. Nampumelelo Rial Kunene is an international human rights policy analyst who consults on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance. She is a highly sought-after, energetic, certified Les Brown international speaker. This passionate leader holds a PhD with a discipline in leadership and business. Dr. Rial Nkunene is the author and host to Rise to Greater Heights, a book and YouTube channel to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. She is also a coach, mentor, and an MC. well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. Her vision is not only to motivate, but also to empower audiences with a fresh perspective inspiration they require to pursue success and drive sustainable outcomes. In a seriously funny way, Dr. Kunene is an award-winning author, 10 times #1 Amazon and international best-selling author. Her #1 best-selling book, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As a trainer, diplomacy protocol officer, and strategist, Rial believes that we are in full control of our choices. Her mission is to meet the needs and transform lives of her clients and her audience. She is also a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations. Dr. Kunene's purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and help organizations understand and promote human rights. Her goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs, then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. This change maker, trailblazer, and revolutionary is pushing boundaries and creating a real change worldwide. Like a phoenix that never accepted defeat and rose from its own ashes, she wants to challenge you to unleash your greatness and rise to greater heights. Dr. Rial N. Kunene wears many hats. As a professional certified sales manager, CEO, certified travel counselor, publisher, medical esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for oaths, following her dreams gave her purpose to see her goals through and understand that she does have everything she needs to reach her full potential. Her everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40 keeps her to rise to greater heights. The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Dr. Rial N. Kunene.
Thank you so much, amazing speakers. You know, today we are surrounded by these industry professionals. So I'm like, what am I gonna share really, since I'm not in that industry? But you know what, knowledge is power, because Martin, he mentioned everything that you have to educate yourself. And Sharon Lee, oh my God, I'm getting tongue-tied. Sharon Lee on the other side, she was like, shift your mindset, cultivate your mindset for success. So I'm going to share what I've done my research on, honestly, because this is the industry I am really, really interested in. So I'm going to share what I discovered out there. So you might have to ask yourself, why real estate really? Why real estate investing at this time of the year? And it's going to be 2023 in within a 1 day time. It's going to be 2023. So what are you doing? What are you investing on yourself in? Is it real estate? Is it financial freedom? Because it's high time, good people. It's high time to go out there. You know, investing in real estate isn't just for the rich and the famous. Anyone can really do it, even if you have only like a small down payment. With the right preparation and research, anyone can enjoy the profits real estate offers. So why should you invest in real estate? Ask yourself, why do I have to do this? Or who should invest in real estate at this time of the year? Honestly, you really don't have to be a specific type of a person or have maybe a particular financial status to invest in real estate. If you desire to grow your portfolio, diversify your investments, and enjoy cash flow and capital gains, so you should consider doing this. You should consider investing in real estate. Good people, you really don't have to see the whole staircase in life to get to the top, but you need to take the first step to get to the top. As my mentor always say, that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great in life. So real estate investments are often a great way to earn higher than average returns while also diversifying your portfolio. Some suggest a real estate investing, when done right, of course, is the highest earning asset class a portfolio can have. So let's look at some of the reasons to investigate real estate investing as an opportunity for you to grow capital. First things first, it's one of the safest investments you can make. Real estate investing is safe and secured. It's safe and secured by the asset itself, which is the building. So rarely will you see your investment lose value. If so, it's usually only for a short period of time. Unlike fiat currencies like the dollar, real estate doesn't lose value to inflation. Year after year, it performs better. So smart investors can even set themselves up well in down markets by buying like value add assets. So who should invest in real estate? Like I asked that question before. And investors who are looking to diversify excuse me, investors looking to diversify. Why I'm saying this is because if you are already invested in the stock market or other risky assets, but you want to diversify, branching out into real estate is a great solution for you. So if you invest some money, like for example in stocks, and additional money in real estate, you will lessen the blow if one industry turns. If you have all your money in the stock market, for example, and it crashes, like we've seen that it's occurring multiple times, and you could lose everything. If I mean everything, you could lose it. But if you have money diversified in real estate, and you may not lose everything, and could even offset the loss of capital gains. So it's a wake-up call, good people. It's a wake-up call for you to invest in real estate. But when that alarm clock goes off, please, 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 don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I will wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes and invest on real estate. Just wake up, get going, and invest in real estate. I can't say it enough. You have these professionals who are sharing their knowledge, their experience, and their wisdom with us today. So if you haven't invested in it, real estate is a great place for you to start. You can even house hack by buying multi-unit properties, live in one unit and rent out the rest. This allows anyone, even beginners, to start investing in real estate. And most investors don't provide cash flow. So you invest your money and leave it, not accessing it until you sell that asset, such as like stocks, for example. So if you invest in buy and hold real estate, you earn cash flow monthly when you have tenants paying the rent. And the difference between the amount collected and your expenses is your cash flow. That's clear. It's your cash flow. You can use it to cover your monthly bills, save for your future, or even create more extensive real estate portfolio. So, but while investing in apartment buildings and commercial properties, and as well as like single family homes, it can bring an extra income each month and big paydays. It also comes with risk. All of the businesses we're doing out there, there is a risk involved. You can purchase a single family home, rent it out, and collect your monthly rent checks while waiting for its value to rise high enough for you to generate a big profit when you sell it. Or you can purchase a small strip mall and collect monthly rents from other businesses. You can go bigger and invest in an apartment building, for example, with dozens of units, collecting a steady stream of rent checks from your tenants each and every month. The goal behind all of this is to invest in properties that increase in value over time. So real estate investments, though like any other investments, they don't always pay off. Sometimes the real estate you invest in, it loses value over time. If you understand the risk and you're willing to do your own research, finding the best places to invest in real estate could provide you with a solid income boost. So the key is to do your research. Go out there and do your research to find out which type of real estate you are interested in, and it's your best fit. So go out there and do more research. Be a forever student, like I always say. As flight attendants always say that, put on your oxygen mask first before you assist others, because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to help could possibly go down. So go out there and put on that oxygen mask first before you assist the person next to you, so that you don't go down when that flight goes down. So the reality is your journey to be a better person starts with you. No one else, not your neighbor, not your mom, not your dad, not your spouse, but you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can make your dreams come true today. You are the only one. In order for you to reach your full potential, you've got everything around you. So go out there and be the change that we want to see. And don't ever, ever give up on your heart's desires. Just recall this in case you can't find your way. You can have the drive within you to become what you really want in life. Can you say this with me, that I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life? I just want you to affirm this. I'm a firm believer of affirmations, because affirmations, they make things happen to me. So can you just place your left hand on your chest and raise your right hand and say, I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life? Can you say it one more time, as if you have faith in your own powerful voice? And guess what? It will echo throughout the whole universe. I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Yes, you can. Yes, you can have the drive within you. Just give yourself a round of applause right now, because you can have the drive within you. To become what you really want in life. You can have the drive within you to get where you want to be in life. In this 2023, it's all inside of you. The drive is all inside of you. So it's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful, beautiful name, Nompumelelo. I know many, when they try to say my name, they always butcher my name. I forgive them, because I know my name is quite long. So Nompumelelo, really, Nompumelelo in my own language, it means mother of all success. So you can see that I am really, really challenged to chase after success. No matter what comes my way, I'll have to chase after success. So if I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve, maybe in the next 6 months, or in the beginning of the new year? I just want you to put in the chat box, rise to greater heights. If you happen to have any dreams and goals that you want to achieve within the next 6 months, just put rise to greater heights in the chat box, and then I will come back and check if you have put it over there. Really, you know, my goal is so simple. My goal as a mentor, my goal as a coach, like many of us here, it's so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired actions to empower you to become successful in life. That's my goal, period. And it works wonders. So I so wish that you can just tell yourself that, you know what, you've had enough. All these amazing professional industry speakers, they've shared everything on the reasons why you'll have to invest in real estate. So I want you, like, as you think about your dreams and goals, to continue to consider rising to greater heights. But in order for you to rise to greater heights, in order for you to make a difference in this world, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry, like a hungry lion in the jungle. Really, that hungry lion in the jungle, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you had a giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of his face is lunch. It's so funny, because even with elephants, when they see a lion, what they do is that they run. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. They already told themselves that, you know what, I am a lunch to that lion. So each and every time when I see a lion, I'll have to run. I believe that's the lion mindset that we need in order for us to even get started investing in real estate. That's the lion mindset. We'll have to be hungry in order for us, because, you know, I believe that we all rise together. Like today, we are here sharing more knowledge, sharing more nuggets, sharing. All the speakers are sharing their experiences, because we are rising to greater heights together. We are lifting each other up instead of tearing anyone down or even stepping on another person to get to the top. I believe that's the lion mindset. You know, it's so funny. When I was in the 8th grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful again. Really, that English teacher, she didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me. And it also aligns with my destiny. So for those of you who don't know the phoenix bird, the phoenix is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestor. which represents our capacity for vision and success. So I want to encourage you, if you are going through some challenges today, that wear your scars to show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside, and trust in your own capability to rise from your own ashes. Since the phoenix has to die, burn, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. Please write this down in conclusion. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. And I know you've heard this before, that your setback is your setup for your comeback. Your setback is your setup for your comeback. So if I can be honest with you, I don't know what goals you've set for the next 6 months. I don't know what dreams you have for your own future, but here is one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that with God, we are all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. Oh, come on, somebody. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gifts and following God's idea will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach to your full potential. My everyday inspiration, Mr. Les Brown, he once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, what skills, what talents, and what books will die with you? And the late Dr. Miles Monroe continued saying that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the dreams, all the goals, all the visions, all the skills, all the talents have been buried. Honestly, I don't know about you, but with me, listening to all these messages, it just gave me sleepless nights. And I remember it very well when I started writing my first book. Actually, my first book is here, Rise to Greater Heights, which is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. And I didn't stop there. If you remember it very well, in May 25th, 2020, George Floyd died in police custody in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I believe that we need to stand for a world where no one shall live in fear because of the color of their skin, and where the criminal justice system treats everyone fairly and equally. Because you know what? I believe that we are all, I didn't say part of us, we are all equal in dignity. So you might have to ask yourself, what's holding you back? What's holding you back from going confident in the direction of your dreams? What's holding you back from even getting started in investing in real estate? Is it fear? Is it procrastination? Is it mediocrity? Is it distraction? What's holding you back? Like Sharon Lee mentioned, that you'll have to shift your mind. Cultivate your mindset for success. Cultivate your mindset for success, because you have everything within you to become what you really want in life. And I believe that if you aspire to be in any leadership role, if you aspire to be in any business, you'll have to increase your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence has to deal with one's ability to both recognize and understand other people's emotions, and what controls them, in order for you to be able to work alone with those people. Because you know what, I believe that you can always bounce back to life, no matter what comes your way. Your resilience to greatness. So I believe with all these books have the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. And I also have a free transformation guide for you. It's available on my website, www.risetogreaterheights.com. Trust me, with that free transformation guide, you'll be able to explore leadership, empowerment, being purpose-driven, mentorship, coaching, resilience to greatness, mental health, emotional intelligence, and many more topics, including successful parenting as well as spiritual growth. Because growing up, honestly, I didn't have much in life, because my father decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth. And I thank God that I missed that flight, because I'm still here. I'm still sharing my message with all of you. I had everything because of my mama's love. And I love you so much, Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel Nkunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. So at this moment, maybe Sharon, are you ready to respond to that question that was posed to you?
Yes, absolutely. I do want to say I'm very humbled to have been asked to speak on this podcast with you. You are just an amazing woman, and everything that you said I resonate with. And Martin too, like was an amazing speaker in this, not my forte, and I'm so thankful to be able to be here today. You specifically talked about a phoenix mindset and about rising from, the ashes and changing. It's just such a powerful thing. And I'm so glad that you spoke on that. I actually have designed a tattoo for my back that I have to find an artist for, but it is a phoenix rising from the ashes because I've been through, I've actually restarted my life from nothing 8 different times, 8 times. And it is that resilience, excuse me, that gets you to that success in life, in general, just in anything, is that resilience is so important, rather than giving up and changing, and what was the other thing you said? You said to have a lion mindset and to have that fierceness and not giving up and just to have the drive to keep going and to know what you want and to keep aiming for that over and over until you get it, right? And that's so important in key to any matter of success. No matter what knocks you down, get back up. No matter what obstacle you hit, do it again, to get up again. So the question that was posed to me was, how do you get started with no money? Oh my gosh, there's just so many ways you can get started in real estate with no money. You touched on some of these low down payment loans. That is definitely one. There's also grants for down payments that are available out there. A lot of those programs are talking about personal homes that you're going to invest in, and those are great to get started and to start there. And when you living in it and fixing it up as you go, and then move to the next one and rent that one out for cash flow, right? So there's one way, just a progressive step. There's several other ways, though. I bet you have money that you haven't even thought of, right? Transfer all your 401k money into a self-directed IRA. And then you can take a personal loan against that self-directed IRA for the money to invest in real estate. And then you're paying yourself back your own money, and you have an asset that's paying you money. So there's one way. Okay. And then the next thing is, I started wholesaling because I wanted to get back into flipping, which I had done in the past, as I mentioned. And then I fell in love with wholesaling. So I'm going with that path. I really enjoy what I do, but that is what wholesaling is, one way to get that capital that you need in order to invest in hold assets, invest in flip assets, right? So that even wholesaling doesn't take hardly any money at all, if any at all, right? I spend no money to wholesale, no money. It's a matter of finding those properties, getting them under contract, and selling the contract. And it's really that simple. You don't have to market. You don't have to, do much of anything. Maybe you could take a gas if you're going to drive for dollars. Okay, that's not a lot, right? You're driving anyway. Stay where you are in your neighborhood, and you're driving past those houses anyway. Write down the addresses as you're driving, and then find those owners, which is so easy. There's free tools out there to find people and call them up. Hey, what are you doing with this house? It looks vacant. What's going on? Have a conversation, build rapport. It might take several phone calls. It blows my mind sometimes, because I do, as I mentioned, mentor people. It blows my mind where people will say, man, I made like 5 phone calls and they all said no. Really? 5? And you gave up? It takes 500 phone calls to have 200 conversations to land maybe 20 contracts to get 2 to the closing table. Keep calling. 5 phone calls and you give up? That's not a lion mindset, right? That's not having that drive, having that passion to follow your dream, to do what you need to do to get to where you want to go. Have all times what your goal is. And as Martin said, educate yourself to figure out how to get to that goal. And as you said, Rial, take one step at a time. If you don't take the steps, you never succeed. If you take a half a step and give up, you don't succeed. Keep trying, keep going. That's all you can do.
Thank you, Sharon Lee. So how can the audience reach out to you? Do you also offer like some kind of, coaching, training around investing in real estate? I know you are wholesale, I don't know the terms of real estate. So how can they reach out to you really?
So people can reach me on Instagram or Facebook with instant, with Instant Messenger. And yes, I do offer mentorship. And the way that works is I will help you teach you how to do acquisitions for wholesaling. And then you will send me that to Dispo. And so then we split those profits. And that's the exchange there. So it's essentially free, but we work together and we earn money together.
Sounds perfect. Wow, it's money-making business. So I believe our audience is going to reach out to you, and I believe, Mariah, your question have been answered very, very well. I can't add anything, I can't take away anything as is. So thank you so much, Sharon Lee, for responding to that question. So Martin, you can go ahead and respond to the question by Taylor. How will I know if I'm buying the right property at the right time? And maybe you can also tackle the one, how can I get started with bad credit and debts? Let me say 90,000 debts. So the stage is yours, Martin.
Perfect. Thank you, by the way. Great presentation, Rio. Very inspiring. Really, really cool. Thank you for that. Really nicely done. So I'm going to take the first question, and that's how will I know I'm buying the right property at the right time? So that's the thing. Don't try to time the market. I'm going to go back to my first point that I made of the 3 points, and is educate yourself. Once you understand the numbers, okay, so once you understand your strategy, so number 2, know what it is that you want to play in. What is it that you want? You be a flipper, a wholesaler, what is it? Then it doesn't matter. We buy in all markets, right? We're buying in all markets, just strategies change a little bit. We create new constraints. So let me give you an example of that. What is it that you want? What is the person's name? I want to make sure I'm addressing them by their name. Rial, what's her name? His or her name? The person that asked the question?
Oh, it's Stella.
Stella. So Stella, let's say that you want to buy properties to rent for cash flow, right? You should always be buying, right? So once you understand what you're buying and what you like, so let's say you want to buy the properties that are 2 to 4 units, right? 2 to 4 units. Once you understand that, it's understanding then the rules of the money rules around those units. So if I'm going to get financing, what is it that my lenders want these numbers to look? Here's a general rule. And I teach all of this stuff in my course. Here's a general rule. One thing is, if you want to know money, if you want to understand money, people think real estate, people think that I'm in the flipping business. I'm not in the flipping property business. I'm in the flipping money business. I'll repeat that to you again. I just use brick and mortar as a tool. If I want to play the game of money, the first step I need to know is I need to understand what the rules of money are. And this is going to answer, I guess, part of the other question. I'm going to go to the lender and find out, hey, what are your rules? They have certain rules about how you should run the numbers, how they underwrite the properties. Here's a general rule, something that we use. So when the lender says, for instance, there's something called DSCR, the debt service coverage ratio. Most lenders want a DSCR of 1.20, which is the net income to be 120% more of the mortgage payment. I usually want my deals to be on the conservative side. They need to be at 1.4, 1.5. Why? Because if the bank's minimum limit is 1.2, right, and I'm at 1.4, that means I'm more conservative than them. It's a good deal. It's a really good deal. So first thing, again, Stella, is how you know if you're buying a good deal is what is a good deal for you? What is it that you want? What is your goals? Are you buying for cash flow? If you're buying for cash flow, is know your numbers. Hey, it doesn't matter to me if I pay XYZ. My standards are I need to make XYZ amount of dollar per door on a deal. That's a deal for me. So whether the market's up, whether the market's down, whether the market's in the middle, who cares? None of that matters. Here's my strategy. Here's how I play. Here's my boundaries. Here's my parameters. If it's outside of my boundaries, I don't play there. Right? But you have to understand who is on your team, like who's your partner, who's your capital partner. So who's lending you money, right? What are their rules? So that's how you kind of create your parameters. And I know probably a lot of people here listening are new or don't have anything. And I'm going to tackle the second question, which is how can I get started with credit or bad credit or negative net worth? You guys remember that property I told you guys about? Remember how I told you that in 2007, I was a mortgage broker? Well, what was the industry that went down? The first industry that went down, it was all the mortgage brokers. The Dodd-Frank crushed that industry. I literally had to close my doors. Then guess what? I had a home equity line of credit. And I was living off of those 3 years after that, off of a home equity line of credit. It was $70,000 negative in debt work in the hole, right? And I share that to say that's because I didn't have financial education. I didn't have the money muscle, and the money muscle is just a muscle. It's like anything else you exercise. You know, grit is a muscle you exercise. Determination is that line you talked about is a muscle you exercise. That whatever it takes, and that's just what that is. The money muscle is just a muscle. You have to go and learn what the rules of money are. So anyways, I'm going to pose a question back. What was the person that asked that question, the debt question? What was their name?
It's Princess.
Princess, I want to pose the question back to you. And we're going to talk about mindset. I want to shift your mindset here really quick. How can I get started with bad credit and bad debt? The reason you're asking that question is because you think that you need your credit and your money to get started. My question I have for you is, who made the rule and said that you need your money and you need your credit to buy real estate? Who makes that rule? Who created that rule? Only you created that rule based on your limited knowledge of what you know about real estate, because you think that, hey, what I know is I got to have a down payment. I got to get money down. I got to go to a bank. I got to go check tax returns. That's what you think, because that's what traditionally what you know. Goes back to point number one. Get educated and really understand real estate investing, because it is not the same. What homeowners do is not the same as what we do. I don't buy property. I only buy from people like Sharon. I do not buy property on the market unless it's 2009, 2008, where there's deals all over the place, which we might be seeing that in 2023. I don't buy all on the market. I don't buy on market deals. I only buy off market deals. So we play by a certain different set of rules. Learn those rules. Remember I said, if you want to play, like if you're going to play a game, right? What's the first thing you need to know in order to win? Is you need to know the rules. Hey, what are the rules? How do I win? How do I know I'm winning? How do I know I've won? There's know the rules. So go learn the rules, get educated on, hey, I want to be a land flipper. Okay, fine. What's the course I can take on land flipping? And let me start there. Let me learn the rules and now let me play. So educate yourself. That's my first thing. And remember, Princess, you don't need your money. And I don't care where in the world you are. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. It doesn't matter. I'm going to share this last thing with you. I have 2 properties currently on the market right now that are flip properties that I am, the market slowed down and it's ready to flip. Right? There's a place called Craigslist that we're all probably aware of. There are so many deals there. You can find so many opportunities there. There's gold there if you're not looking for it. There's tired landlords there. There's tired people there that have properties that are distressed, that are renting them, that live out of the state, that they have it for rent and it's ugly and it's vacant. There is a way you can figure out a way to call that person and say, hey, I see you have this property for rent and it looks a little bit distressed. Would you be interested in selling it to me? I'll take it over and you hold the paper, meaning you hold the mortgage. And now guess what? You just picked up a property for very little money. For being gritty, for being creative, for learning, educating. I teach all of this stuff in my course. I give actually my ads because I actually give you the ads to put on Craigslist. Literally copy, paste, put it in there. Right. So I hope I answered those questions for you. And I hope that was clear.
She responded. I believe that was the question when you asked her. She said it was her mortgage advisor who told her all of this.
They play by her mortgage advisor plays by a different set of rules. Do not go to a chef and ask a chef about cars, because a chef can only teach you about food. You want to learn about investing, go to an investor and ask them the rules of investing.
Did you get that, Princess? I hope she got it. Wow, thank you so much, Sharon Lee. Thank you so much, Martin, for, I think I've learned a lot, within 90 minutes, I've learned a lot. I can actually write a book from what I learned from you right now. So Martin, how can our audience reach out to you? Do you offer coaching? Do you offer mentorship? Do you offer training around the area of investing in real estate?
Yes, so I have an online course where I teach you how to get your first off-market deal in under 60 days. And it's literally my playbook. Everything I did at the beginning, I've scaled, I have a team where we're marketing, we have TV commercials, but I show you everything I did, everything I still do, right? To get, and I gave some of that away, right, on Craigslist. I give you my ads, I give you all of that stuff. You can find me on Instagram, you can connect with me on Instagram. You can go to, you can direct message me on Instagram, or you can go to, if you go to my Instagram, Martin Predominantly Strategist, you can look me up on, go check out my podcast where I'm constantly educating people on the new strategies, what's happening, market trends, Latinos in real estate investing podcast. Again, sure you go download that now, Latinos in Real Estate Investing Podcast. If you go there to my podcast and you go to the show notes, to my course is right on there, just click on the link and it'll take you right to my course that I have of how to find your first off-market deal in under 60 days or less. Let me just share a little something, a little secret with you guys. If you're trying to go to the internet and you're trying to go to the MLS or where realtors are, we've already looked at those deals. I mean, guys like me have already looked at those deals. They're not deals most of the time. And the current market that we're coming away from. Now, in 2023, we'll be going into a different market. There might be some deals there starting to pop up sometime soon. But when they're there, you're looking at what I've already looked at and said, nah, that doesn't make sense. Wow. So learn how to find them off market like Sharon does and I do. That's where the money is.
Wow, so kings and queens, go out there, reach out to Sharon Lee, reach out to Martin, because you really need this. You, as much as I do, I believe you too, you really need this, because you are the ones who requested this and then I brought it to you. So go out there and reach out to these professionals, and trust me, you won't go wrong, because real estate investing is the new currency. So go out there and reach out to these amazing speakers. So thank you, Sharon Lee. Thank you, Martin, for being with us, for sharing more knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences in this industry. And I believe with all of your messages, our audience have been really, really inspired. They've been motivated and they are ready to invest in real estate. So thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
So to our audience online, thank you so much for joining us today here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope from all these amazing messages from all these professionals, you've been inspired, you've been motivated, and you are ready to rise to greater heights. So do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Siyabonga.
Let them laugh, let them weep, let them yell, let them sing. All they wanna say. Let them lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let them laugh, let them weep, let them yell, let them sing. All they wanna say. Let them lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as I'm
Wow. Uh-oh.